So what if the guy who invented the microchip, the literal brain of your computer, told you that everything you think you know about reality is wrong, that consciousness isn't some accident of the brain, but it's actually the source of, well, everything? It's a huge idea, and it comes from a truly unexpected source.
This one sentence from physicist and inventor Federico Faggin really says it all. This isn't just a casual thought. It's the kind of realization that doesn't just change your perspective, it completely shatters your entire worldview. And his story starts in a place you would never, ever expect.
And there it is. The man who built the very foundation of our logical, digital world had an experience that logic just couldn't touch. It was an event so profound that it would completely change the course of his entire life, sending him down a rabbit hole he never saw coming. To really get the weight of his revelation, you first have to understand the man he was before all this happened. I mean, we are talking about a genuine titan of technology, a person who literally helped build the modern world we all live in.
Just look at this resume. It's staggering. He's a physicist, right? He developed silicon gate technology, which was the key breakthrough that made modern computers even possible. Then he designed the world's first microprocessor, became a top exec at Intel, and a hugely successful entrepreneur. This is a guy whose mind lived and breathed the hard, cold facts of the material world.
But here's the twist. He had it all. Everything society tells us is supposed to make you happy. The fame, the money, the success, and yet he was deeply restless, unhappy. He felt like something major was missing. As he put it himself, he was believing outside of me and not paying attention to my inner life.
So you get this incredible split right down the middle of his life. On one side, he's the ultimate materialist, the master of logic and bits. But on the other, there's this unfulfilled seeker, this part of him that just knew there had to be more to the story.
And this internal tug-of-war was all building up to one single moment that would change everything. It was late, he got up for a glass of water, and then something completely and utterly inexplicable happened.
In his own words, this incredible energy, this white, sparkling light, just started pouring out of his chest. Now, this wasn't a dream, it wasn't a metaphor, he was wide awake, and this was a very real, very physical experience.
And this light, it wasn't just energy. It had a quality to it, an essence. He said it was pure love and joy and a feeling of peace so deep, so profound, he'd never felt anything even close to it in his entire life.
And here's where things get really wild, where reality itself just starts to bend. He said his consciousness wasn't trapped in his body anymore. He was somehow both the observer and the thing he was observing. He was watching the light, but he was the light. The line between me and the world just dissolved.
And here's the crucial part. He couldn't just brush this off as a weird hallucination. The sense of truth that came with it was, as he says, so strong that I could not compare it to anything that had happened in my life before. So this became his new obsession, to somehow unite the world of science with this incredible inner experience.
And so, after 2 decades of intense scientific study, he came to a conclusion that doesn't just tweak our understanding of science, it flips the entire thing completely upside down.
Okay, so think about it this way. The standard view of science, the old view, basically sees consciousness as a lucky accident. It's this ghost that somehow pops out of the complex wiring of our brains. Faggin proposes a complete 180. In his new view, consciousness and free will aren't the result of reality, they are the fundamental source of it. Quantum physics is just the language that describes how this consciousness behaves.
And at the absolute center of this new theory is a concept he calls one. Now, this isn't some old man in the sky. One is the totality of everything that exists. It's a single, dynamic, interconnected system that has a fundamental desire to experience and know itself.
So, what does that make us? Well, we are not just our physical bodies, we're actually fields of consciousness. And he has this beautiful analogy. Think about how a single cell in your body contains the DNA blueprint for the entire organism. In the same way, each of us is a part whole. We are a unique individual part, but we also contain the blueprint of the entire whole. We're both at the exact same time.
Now, this isn't just some abstract theory for a physics textbook. It has huge, profound implications for how we live, what it means to be human, and it even reframes one of the most powerful forces in our universe.
In this model, love isn't just an emotion you feel. Internally, he calls it the taste of meaning. It's that feeling of connection and purpose.
But externally, it's an actual, fundamental force, kind of like gravity, that pulls different beings, different fields of consciousness, together in cooperation.
And this is why it all matters so much. Our current worldview, which tells us we're all separate, little biological machines, has created a world that runs on competition. But Faggin's theory suggests that our true nature, the very fabric of the universe, is cooperative. He argues that our survival as a species literally depends on us flipping this chart, on shifting away from competition and back toward cooperation.
So let's boil it all down. What are the big takeaways here? First, we are so much more than our physical bodies. We're fields of consciousness. Second, reality isn't just material stuff. It's a seamless union of body, mind, and spirit. Third, consciousness and free will aren't accidents. They are the bedrock of all existence. And finally, shifting from competition to cooperation isn't just a nice thought. It's about aligning ourselves with how reality actually works.
And that leaves us with one last, massive question to think about. If this man, the architect of our digital age, is right, if we really are all deeply interconnected parts of one single conscious whole, how would that change the way you see yourself, the way you see other people, and how would it change the way you live your life tomorrow?